TCQ podcast. I'm happy to have an amazing guest in the house today. He's a great guy. His name is synonymous to commercial photography in Nigeria, and his name is Deji Oluokun. He's a great guy. His work has been featured in a couple of magazines, including the GQ, and also he has worked with great clients like LG, Hennessy, and the likes of them. I'll allow him to introduce himself to us. Welcome, Deji.
Thank you so much, Temitope. It's an amazing time finding myself here. I know that we've been planning to do this for some time. So thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. You've already said most of the things that I do. I major in commercial photography. I started as a fashion photographer, and it's been like 5 years that I've been shooting now, so I'm still like a baby in the industry, to be honest. I always say that to people. So I used to be an art director and a graphic designer in advertising. I spent 7 years, and then I think my 8th year I was able to start photography, and then along the line, the second year in photography, I started putting together an exhibition. So after my first solo exhibition, I decided to just leave the advertising life and focus on photography full time. So since that time, I've been doing some creative things with the camera.
It's obvious advertising actually key you in amazingly well into photography.
100%.
And that's actually going to be like my line of the next question I want to ask you. Like, what are the things that working in advertising agency, what are the things you learned? What are the major things that you learned that's actually helping your photography today? Knowing fully well that you're also in commercial photography basically, and so what are the experiences you built over the years working in advertising, and how is it playing out in photography?
I really appreciate the question. Yes, advertising has influenced my photography journey 100%. I think the number one thing that I always think of whenever I think of the impact of advertising or working in a creative agency and photography is the professionalism that comes with it. Down to the little things like replying emails, putting together a proposal, just generally liaising or talking to clients, correspondence, and so on and so forth. I think that's something that advertising or working in advertising has really helped me with. And then in terms of just pitching businesses, so sending proposals to potential clients, putting together your portfolio in order to target a specific sector, a specific field in the industry. It's advertising, to be honest. It's the field that runs in advertising. You always want to pitch new businesses. You want more. You want to do more. You want to get into more fields. You want to occupy space, to be honest. And the process of pitching businesses in advertising is more like bulls fighting, because we have different creative agencies coming to pitch for a particular business. So and I'm sure you are aware as well. So what companies or businesses do is that they release some sort of memo, or they just get word out some way somehow to say that businesses are this, are that, and we are looking at doing this and that with the businesses that we have. So then creative agencies come from different places, right? And then they send their representatives, right? So a person comes from this agency, from that, and this and that, and then they are pitching for that same business. So they'll come with different ideas, and then they will tell the client or the potential clients that this is the idea that we have for this business, and this is how we want to execute, and this is why we think that you should go with us, right? And creative agencies usually have, say, roughly like maybe 10 people work on a particular proposal, a particular pitch. So you can't tell me that all the 10 people that work on this pitch are dumb, right? So the output they are taking to the client is a product of 10 different brains coming together to come and tell you guys, to come and tell you that this is why you should go with our creative agency, right? So it's like bulls fighting. It's like big names coming together, right, to come and pitch for a particular business, and that has really influenced how I make decisions in terms of proposing myself or pitching myself to a potential client. And it's not even just potential clients, even clients that come to you because maybe word of mouth has reached them that you do so. You still have to pitch to them why what they've heard is true, right? So you have to tell them that you are worth the time that they're going to spend with you, and then you're worth whatever amount of money that you want to tell them to. Exactly. So those little things that I count as little now. I pick them up working in the corporate sector, working in a creative agency.
Yeah, fantastic. Because one of the things I've noticed is that as creatives, we actually most of the time don't see reason why. For example, you talk about pitching, you talk about advertising, like more like positioning yourself in such a way that clients can either choose you, or choose you.
Yes.
So it's not like choose you or another, because you are positioning in such a way that it is me and I have what you're looking for. But as creatives, most of the time we feel like our work is so great enough that they should notice us. And from what you are saying now, it is not just like that. How you plan it, to delivering it, really matters. So in 1, 2, 3 sentences, I just want you to pinpoint, like you talked about replying email. I want you to pinpoint, 1, 2, 3 things that you think that creatives are not doing now, but you learned, in your early days at advertising agency.
Okay. The number one thing is, I think I mentioned it earlier, is professionalism. I think that because most of the work that we do as creatives, we do in our comfort zone. So you are most likely replying clients in your bedroom, you are editing or retouching in your living room. In fact, there are some of us that even have like a workspace in the house, but we never use it because your laptop is just there and you're just editing, you're sending exactly. So because of that, creatives or photographers tend to forget that they are meant to be professionals. So because you're not wearing suit and tie, you think that you can behave in a way. So first of all, photographers and creatives in general need to understand that they are professionals and they have to be professional in everything that they are dealing with. So when you're replying clients, for instance, you want to give them the normal salutation. Hello sir, hello ma, right? It has to be a journey before you get to the point where you start typing lol or where you start giving them some sort of funny emojis because they are chatting with you on WhatsApp, right? And also when you're replying your emails, for instance, the salutation has to always be there. It's a best regards, so. It's a hello madam, so, and so on and so forth. And even the way you communicate, your lingo has to show that you sort of revere them, you respect them, right? Because these guys, even though they need your services, you are in a market. There are other people that they can go to, right? So you need to first of all understand that you need to be professional in everything that you're dealing with, in how you dress, in how you talk, in you being prompt to set, and so on and so forth. You have to be professional. That's number one. The second thing is that you need to understand that how you dress is how you'll be addressed. So if you how do I explain this? So if you are targeting businesses in, say, consumables, for instance, your portfolio needs to speak to that. So if, for instance, you want to start shooting for, say, beverages, for instance, or you want to start shooting for, say, soft drinks, for instance, your portfolio that you're sending to Unilever, right, must show that you have done stuff in that space. I see some of my colleagues that because they've shot like fancy things in fashion, for instance, they are trying to target, say Chivas Regal or Hennessy, and they haven't done anything for alcohol before. Because they haven't done that, they still use the same portfolio that they are using for, say, an Andrea, for instance, who is a fashion business or a fashion designer. They still send it to Hennessy, and they come back to say that Hennessy isn't ready to work with them, or isn't ready to give them a chance to shoot their first alcohol commercial. And I tell them that you don't need to wait for a business to have a portfolio in alcohol. It is nothing new to photographers when we say test shoots. It's something that people know. It's something that photographers are aware of.
Mostly in wedding.
Right. So it is a solid advice that you should. It's a solid suggestion that you should look for people that can collaborate with you to shoot a sample alcohol commercial. Right. If you have that scamp, you can then share in your portfolio. If the client comes to you to say, did you shoot this thing for this so brand? You can then tell them that no, it is not for them. It is not. It's either a scamp or we call it a commissioned project. So you can say this is not a commissioned project. It's something I tried my hands on, so that you guys can see that I can execute whatever you are bringing to me. So photographers, creatives need to know that they need to tailor every single portfolio, every single collection of projects that they're sharing to potential clients the way they want those clients to see them. That's number 2 that I picked up in advertising, because every single potential clients that we are looking at, we are showing them that this is something that we've done in that space. Even if it means that, I remember one time that we were trying to pitch for was that engine oil for an engine oil business, and we have not, at the time, we had not done anything in that space. So what we then did, I can never forget it, because I still have the video somewhere on my drive or in my laptop, I can't remember. So what we then did was that we created a campaign by ourselves in-house, right? And then we shot a commercial for engine oil. And the script was easy. Someone was using a terrible engine oil brand for their car, and the guy kept going back to the mechanic every other day that the car isn't working, or the car is bad, blah blah blah. And then while he was doing that, a colleague of the mechanic in the mechanic workshop came to introduce to them that there is this oil that you should be using, and the reason why your car is always failing or is always getting bad is because I see your oil now is so black. And then what they did in-house that time was that they made me a mechanic.
Wow.
Right, because I'm a graphic designer, right? And we went to a mechanic workshop, we got their uniform. I wore a mechanic uniform, right? And I did that, and some of my colleagues did. There was one person that did the owner of the car. There was one person that did the actual mechanic that kept giving him the bad oil, and then me, right? I still have the video. So what we did was that we created that in-house. And then by the time we package our pitch documents to the clients, they were able to see the breadth of the work that we had done, even though the work wasn't a commission project for a different brand. So if we can go to that length, right, and then the client sees that work, and then another agency sends something that they had done for Coca-Cola to that same client. Now tell me who the clients go to work with.
Definitely the person that have track record of competence.
Exactly. So it's something that I need my guys or my colleagues in the industry to always look at. If you want to start shooting weddings and your journey has always been, or your brand has always been known for shooting portraits, I need you to get out there and shoot a friend's wedding. Even if it's for free, or if it's for a token amount of money, and then kill that project to the point that when you share it to a potential person that wants to get married, they can hire you for it. So that's number 2. The third thing and the last thing is carving a niche for yourself. Niche marketing is a very, it's it's a tricky topic. It's something that some people do not necessarily agree with, but from my point of view, from where I stand, I think that it's a good thing for you if you carve a niche for yourself. And what does that mean? It means that you need to specialize. You need your brand to be known for something. I mentioned earlier that I started shooting fashion. I started shooting fashion because I realized that I had always known that I would be shooting commercials, by the way. And then I started shooting fashion because I realized that most of the commercials that you will see have stylish and fashionable people in them. Down to people that sell drinks. When you see people that are drinking, I don't know if I can mention brands on this.
Yeah, sure.
If you see people that are drinking Sosa, for instance, Sosa is how much now? It'd be like 300 naira, 200 naira, or something like that. If you see people that are drinking Sosa in a Sosa commercial, they are dressed as if Sosa is 5,000 naira on the streets, because the perception you get from someone that is well dressed is that you think that they've made it in life.
Affiliation.
Yeah, is something inspirational, right? It's like, yeah. So I realized that early, because obviously I was working in an agency. So each time that I needed to do a design, I wasn't going to pick someone that isn't properly dressed for my graphic design, right? So I knew that if I wanted to hack the business of shooting commercials, I needed to start with fashion, so people can see the breadth that I can take my fashion to editorials, right? And then now when I started shooting commercial, it was easier for me to translate that into my commercials. So even my clients, they will come to me and say, this is the stylist this is the stylist we want to work with. What do you think about what this person is bringing? Because we know that you can advise us, right? So it is easier. And then another thing that fashion taught me is how to combine colors, and that is the foundation of shooting any commercial, because the brand has their colors, and then you need to now see how to work with the colors for their commercial, right? So carving a niche is very important, because when brands are looking for that person, it is easier for people to suggest you, because they know you for that.
That thing. Fantastic.
And you don't need to start with a niche if you're just starting up. You can do everything. You can try your hands on everything, and then along that line, along the journey, then you see this is where my passion lies in. Okay, so I'm going to take that, and then you need to now tell yourself that after taking that, you want to now die there. And by dying doesn't necessarily mean that you're dying, right? It just means that everything in that space, you hack it. So there is a wave of content creators, for instance, now. And then what content creators do basically is that they pick a field and then they start talking about that thing. So if someone is talking about, say, and we have content creators in all the fields now. So we have content creators that teach you how to use your phone to take good photos. And what they do is that even if iPhone is releasing or Apple is releasing a new software or whatever, iOS, this night, by tomorrow, they are coming out to say to you that the new iOS, this is how it's going to affect your photos, right? They're not teaching you how to take photos in that particular content that they've released. What they are trying to let you know is that I am up to date with the phones that you're using to take photos, and I am here to tell you that on this my channel, you will see everything you need to know about it. Exactly. So in that niche that you've created or that you've selected, that you've picked for yourself, try your best to occupy that space. Learn the new trends. Learn how to adapt the new equipment that are coming in that space. Learn how to adapt the new systems, the new processes in that space, so that even when people have always known you to be a fashion photographer, by the time they come to you, they can see the trends in fashion, in what you used to shoot in 2020 and what you used to shoot in 2018 and what you shoot now. They can see how you're following exactly that progression. So You need, first of all, professionalism. The second thing is that always tailor your portfolio to whatever you want people to come to you for, and then niche yourself as much as possible.
Wow.
Yeah, those three things, I picked them up in advertising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like, I mean, this is a full masterclass. You know, it's a full masterclass, and I'm happy that you're talking about all these things.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask like a 2-in-1 question. You know, you working in advertising, and also when you actually, what triggered your time, like when you actually know that, okay, specifically my time is up here, I have to take the next level. At what point did you know, or did you decide that, okay, I'm going to leave this space because it's time for you to thrive in another space? That's one. The follow-up question to that is, will you advise anyone that is just starting now to work in the corporate first, probably even if it's just for 12 months or 24 months, you know, to be able to gain some knowledge, maybe not necessarily in advertising, but just to have that configuration as a professional? You know, so what do you say to that?
Let me take this last question as the first that I answer. I'm of a strong opinion that every single person should go through corporate first. And it's just that it grounds you. The corporate system is undeniably the best thing that you can gift yourself. It teaches you the most basic things that you see as basic because you have gone through it. And I'm saying basic things now because obviously you may have gone through it. Waking up in the morning, going to the office. It's very basic when you're going through it, but after you leave, you see how that is going to impact your life. Because now you understand what routine is. You understand that on that time before I used to go to the office by 8 o'clock, that means I needed to go to bed by latest 12, even if there was something I was doing. And then that meant that I had to wake up latest 6 o'clock, so I would get ready and go out, get a bus, blah blah, so that I get to the office by 8. Right? That planning over time makes you a better person. In terms of your routine, in terms of how you see life, in terms of just generally growing. That's number one. Then another thing is that there is a difference in someone that has gone through that phase and someone that is just winging it. And the difference is crystal clear. Like, you can tell that this person understands what corporate is or what systems mean. And you can tell that this person is just winging it. In the way they dress, the way they respect people. When you see corporate people drive on the road, you can tell.
Wow.
Yes. Corporate people have some sort of there's an element of being grounded that comes with corporate life. And I'm not saying that you should work somewhere where they are beating you or where they are abusing you. That's not the grounding I'm talking about. It's just there's a system. There is the time that you go to the office.
Structure.
There's a break. You have your break time. You have the time that you have to go back to work. You have the time that you leave the office. You know what it means when you cannot leave the office the time you're supposed to leave because there's a project that you're not yet that you're yet to finish, and so on and so forth. You know when maybe one of your CEOs or your co-founders will come and say, my guys, we are expecting so from an office today, guys. So get ready, blah blah. You know how to prepare. So all those things, they are going to be basic because you're going through them. Now after you leave is when you start realizing, I'm doing this because I used to do that. So in terms of knowing when to leave, I think that I consider myself as an experimental person. And I'll explain what I'm saying. So I like to try new things. And by new things, there are things that I most likely have found my passion in over time. And then gradually I'm learning about it. I'm learning about it, and then boom, I'm like, oh, let's try this thing. So I started as I started as a fine artist, a pencil artist.
Oh, wow.
So I used to draw with pencil, and then eventually I started doing some painting work, and I started doing graphic design and so on and so forth. The things that I used to do then, looking back now, they are most likely I liked doing them, so I tried doing them. It's the same thing with me with fashion photography. I sort of had a good experience working 9 to 5, and the good experience is I had good people around me. I made good friends, and if I see that there's a better pay somewhere, I can write a test today and go and join. It has never been a problem for me.
Wow.
Yes, I always try my best to update my portfolio, so it's easy for me to leave whenever I want to leave. So I sort of had like a good journey, meeting new people in new places and so on and so forth. However, I started realizing that photography could be something that I could take from just shooting people to actually making a name for myself in it. So I started shooting basically because I felt like I wanted to see my work on a billboard someday. It was as basic as I was just like, it was a small dream, but at the time it was really big, because every time I Uber or my boss went on Terminal Bridge and I'm seeing like those big billboards, like, how do people shoot these things and they get to this place? So it used to be a very big dream for me. Like, you know what, let me see if I start shooting photography, maybe just one day my work is going to be here, right? And then I started shooting photography. So it was the experiments that made me leave the creative agency that I worked at last. Yeah, it was just the I'm getting comfortable here now. Let me see something else that's going to challenge me. So even when I cooked up, or when I prepared my first solo exhibition, which was in 2021, most people that I reached out to, friends, colleagues, to say, guy, I want to do an exhibition. So they were wondering, you need an exhibition. Like, bro, what are you saying? So it was don't worry, let's give it a shot, let's try it. Because I remember I started planning my exhibition like 3 months before the exhibition date, and then people were saying to me at the time that this thing, I'm cutting it too close, so will I not be discouraged if people don't buy the frames? I'm like, bruh, it's not buying the frames, let me see if I can do an exhibition, people can come for the exhibition. So it has always been an experiment for me, and I think that is just the nature of the kind of person I am. Yeah, I just like to try something new. So it was after I did that exhibition when I realized that maybe I can handle this thing. Then I said, guys, I need to leave. I left then, and since that time I think that it's been a challenging one, but at the same time it's been a fun ride.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride.
Fantastic. From your story now, I can see that everything is connected. Someone wakes up today and want to compare himself with you and say, I'm doing commercial photography, blah blah blah, and all of that, looking at you. But I can see your journey from doing pencil, drawing, sketches and all of that, to being a graphic designer, to being probably a creative director, whatever, to now becoming a photographer. So it is not just an overnight stuff. It is a flow from what seemed to be ordinary, to becoming a big thing. So I'm just saying that to say that anyone that is looking at actually starting something, it just doesn't necessarily have to be, for example, like you. There's something you also really love.
Yes.
For example, maybe you say, I shoot weddings, I shoot portraits as well, I shoot commercials and all that. But I love above all else. If you can leave me to shoot wedding from now till tomorrow, I'll keep shooting.
You keep going.
Because I kind of just love the chemistry, that comes with wedding.
I see.
Though a lot of Nigerian weddings are really problematic anyway, mostly if you are not shooting like high-end weddings and all that, But there's something peculiar to you as a creative as well that you can actually tap into
yes.
and develop, in that direction.
Yes.
So the next question I really want to ask you is more or less like, because people actually believe that you can't do photography and be rich or be wealthy in a way.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's actually a myth, because if you build your brand just like, for example, the way you are building, and I'm sure that you are privy to when they say budget of some companies when it comes to photography, or when it comes to these commercials we're talking about, it's not as simple like as maybe everyday photographer how they knows like about it. Like they just feel like so that's the reason when they throw them maybe 1 million naira and say, okay, come shoot this gig and all of that, then you are jumping and oh, this is so great and all of that. But for every 1 million that comes to you, maybe there's about 10 million that is actually approved for that work. So I just want you to speak to, people actually seeing what is possible with photography.
So I try my best to let people know that they are, even as photographers, their ability to solve problems is their ticket to maybe making it in photography. And as I consider myself an introverted person, I've also come to realize that people's ideas of making it are also different. Some people think that making it means that their work being featured on a top magazine. Some people think that making it is making big money from a gig. Some people think that making it is getting to a point where they own a studio and people are shooting for them, and so on and so forth. If you are looking to make it in photography, no matter what your definition of making it is, I think that your ability to be able to solve problems is your ticket to that. And this is what I'm saying. There is a style, for instance, on how photographers in the government or in the politics sector shoot their photos. There is a style, and like is a conversation that always comes on, like, is it the same person that is shooting for this person that is for this person, because all the photos look the same.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that style most likely started from someone thinking that let's come up with this idea or this filter or this style or this preset for this photo to look like this. And then people started working or started jumping on that. If someone else comes up with a different style tomorrow and it works and it solves the problem of everything looking the same way, some people will jump on that as well. So what is the problem that you see that you think that you want to solve? I saw this wedding photography that you mentioned now. I saw a friend like 3 days ago, and we were talking, and then he said to me that he met a young lady, content creator, at a wedding, and he approached her, and then she said that she comes to take photos of the couple with her phone.
Wow.
And then she's gotten to a point where people know her for that. So when weddings are coming up, when they are booking the photographer and
they're booking her
too for phone photography, right? It was an amazing thing for me to hear. It was like, for real? I said, yes. So she get a light like this, she get this, we get that, yeah. And that she usually comes with like a bag like this, where she's like changing what's it called? She's charging her phone in case the phone goes, and so on. Like there's a system that she's come up with, right, to solve a problem of thinking we have to wait for 2 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, or 6 weeks for this person to deliver.
8 weeks, yeah.
For this person to deliver our photos. Okay, so lady, please come and give us phone.
24.
Right. So if you can, detect what a problem is in your space, and then you tap into that to solve it, you will make it in photography. And like I said, making it is different for different people. So if you say, for instance, people are shooting on plain backdrops, and an Emmanuel Eleke or a King Martins came up with an idea of renting canvas backdrops to people, that's a problem that they've tapped into.
Honestly.
And they do not have to carry a camera to make money
At all.
If then you say, Emmanuel Eleke is already doing canvas backdrops, but people always find it difficult to go to Emmanuel's studio to pick up the backdrop. Okay, so I need to facilitate how they can deliver this backdrop to the photographer, because that's a problem, and you tap into that. As a photographer, you are solving a problem in photography still without having to carry a camera.
Logistics.
Right, so logistics is there. And then if you're saying that Emmanuel Eleke is doing this canvas backdrop, and then there's someone that is moving the backdrop from point A to point B. However, we do not have someone that is cleaning this backdrop for Emmanuel, because people soil it, people mess it up. All right, so let me tap into that. So there are different things that you look at if it is the business of photography you are looking at and trying to sort of diversify and making it, quote and unquote.
Yeah.
If it's how to get your work out there is your definition of making it. Obviously, there are some other problems that you look out for, and then you find a solution to that as well. So you always need to understand that your ability to solve problems, not just take photos, is your ticket to that you're making it. Right. So that's my 1 cent. Yeah, or my 2 cents.
But when it comes to like okay, because it's like we're just about to start this conversation, because if you're just joining us, we're talking about guides to winning and delivering in commercial photography. Basically, that's what we're talking about. So I understand the place of contract.
Yes.
Almost any professional photographer or creative should be able to understand what a contract or an agreement is.
Yeah.
When it comes to commercial photography, how do you've talked about pitch, but after pitch is more or less like, okay, the hiring process of a photographer. Yeah. What are these 1, 2, 3 steps a photographer or a creative supposed to look out for or to put in place to ensure that not that you are not just leaving money on the table, but you are not undervaluing yourself?
Okay. So if I hear you right, you're saying that how do you make sure that your pitch wins? Is that it?
Sure.
Okay.
Your pitch wins, and at the same time, you don't undervalue whatever it is that you are actually selling, because either you like it or not, you are selling.
Yes. So for you to get to the place where you start controlling prices, is that what you're expecting from?
So pitching is one.
Yes.
The component that goes into how you are going to deliver the work in terms of contract.
Yes.
So what should be in your contract is another.
Okay.
Do you understand? Then pricing.
Yes, pricing.
So it's like about 3 different conversations in one.
Okay. So let's start with the pitching process.
Yeah.
I think for the pitching process, I always try my best to spend 80% of my time on research. There is an emotional attachment with how you make people feel because you know them. So it's like, obviously I'm not married, but it's like a husband knowing that, okay, let me give an instance of something I know before you will come at me. Like, you don't know what you're saying. Growing up, my mom hated coming back from work and not meeting detergent at home, because she had a routine of coming back from work, and the first thing she does or she did at the time was doing her laundry. So she comes in, she doesn't see detergent at home is a problem for us. It's like, how much is it that you cannot buy new soap, or you cannot tell someone to buy new, blah, 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 blah. So it's a problem. So how do we not make our mom mad after she's tired from work, blah blah, is that we make sure that there's detergent at home. So these little things that come with knowing people very well help you to win them over. And it's the same thing with business as well. So there's a brief that lands on your desk. The best thing for you is to ask all the questions that come to your mind. The dumbest question, the silliest question, the simplest ones, whatever it is that you can think of or that comes.
I'm going to
come back to that
later.
Okay.
When it comes to that,
yeah,
in asking those questions,
yeah,
and position of agency to that question that you're asking.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very important for you to ask questions, and then go ahead and use those questions to come up with 20% of what you want to send back. The remaining 80% will be what you researched regarding the brand. And researching doesn't mean that you are going through
the internet.
It means meeting up with someone and just saying, do you know anything about Hennessy? Or do you know anything about something that Hennessy has done recently? It could be just your friends. It could be someone you work out with. It's like, 3 days ago, one of my guys went to one Hennessy party. And they say, oh, for real? So what did they do there? Blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So it is the gathering of all these things, these pieces of information that form your research results or your outcome. And then also, I try to tell people that Pinterest is their second home. Pinterest is your second home. It is your second home. As a photographer, as a creative, always go to Pinterest, because what Pinterest does is that it gathers all the information that you need from all these different places, and then you can find them on just one platform.
Wow.
So you see what the brand has done in your space or in your country and what they have done in other countries, right? And then you look at how you can infuse the good things that they're doing in another country, right? And then bring it home. And also do that and then bring together all the information that you've gathered elsewhere or from different places, be it from just word of mouth conversations with people, or even the stuff that you find online, and then put all those things together and then share with them. So there is that this guy knows that comes from it, and they're happy. So your pitch, your treatment document has to show that you know who you want to work for.
Or mood board.
Yes. So it's your treatment document that has your mood board in it.
Yeah, because what you're saying is it's at a level that people actually understand it.
Yes.
At another level,
yes,
because we're speaking not just to professionals now, we're also speaking to people that they're about to start.
Yeah. Got it. So your mood board, your treatment document, or your pitch document needs to show that you understand your brand or the brand that you want to work for. That's the second thing, which is the pitching. And also in your pitching process or your pitching stage, you also need to understand that it doesn't hurt if you speak to people that you think that have done stuff for that same brand. We have a competitive mindset in the country, and it started from second look, the person that did first does he have two heads? And then you start thinking of how to be first your second turn. So we are really competitive. Your neighbor that is selling the same thing, you're looking at how you want to outsell them or how you want to sabotage their business so that people can come to you and so on and so forth. So because of that, we think that every project that comes your way must stay within your team, and you don't let anybody know that Hennessy wants us to shoot for demo. It's not a bad idea, even if it's just a form of conversation and just asking to say, Deji, the work that you shot for Hennessy, how did it go?
What do you
how did you feel working with them? What was your experience? What was the experience like with the clients? In fact, how was the pay? For a Deji, like for someone like me, for instance, I always try my best to tell my people or my friends how the brand that I worked with treated me, so that in case this same brand wants to work with you in the future, this is how
under them.
Right. So try to talk to people. The competitive mindset is just in you winning more businesses. It is not in you fighting your colleagues or not trusting them. If you have a safe space where you can always talk or you can air things out, talk to them and let them understand what is on your table, your desk that you're working with. That's the second thing in pitching process. The last thing, which is the pricing. It's a very delicate topic. And I call it delicate because if you don't do it, someone else will.
True.
And people get mad when you try to advise them on how they should price based on the portfolio they have. So it's delicate because of people's emotions regarding that topic. So I've seen that this is your portfolio, and then you've come to meet me that this brand wants you to do so for them, and I'm saying to you that based on this your portfolio, you should be looking at this and that, because no matter how good your work is, if a brand sees that, or if a brand rep or whoever it's person that is hiring, or a hiring manager, let's just put it like that, the hiring manager at a brand sees that you haven't done much work, it is going to affect how much they will pay. It is a constant thing. Like, there's nothing you can fight them for. If you're expecting a higher pay in jobs or for your jobs, it can make you probably want to do more test shoots, like I said earlier, so that you have that breadth of work that you can say you've done. But if you're just starting up, it's not a bad idea for you to take some jobs that will help you build your portfolio more than they will bring money to you.
Awesome.
It's something we did too. The first job that I did ever as a standard commercial was for a friend of mine that does branding and design. And then they had done branding for a brand, and then they had done the entire branding for them, just think of it, guideline, blah blah blah. And then because they had done such great work for that brand, they wanted the brand to do or to create excellent photos that will fit in to the work that they had already done. It's like, oh bro, this work that we've done, you guys need some very crazy photos, and we have someone that can do it.
In the case of budget,
and it's like, the money that we want to give you guys don't finish. Now he came to meet me that he wanted to do these shoots for this brand, so that the work that they have can match up with what the photos will look like. And I was like, no problem, let's go do it. And then we spent 2 or 3 days creating those photos, and it was a collaboration. It was just, hey, my guy, come and do it for me. But I put it to you that the work that we did on that brand has helped me win so many projects. And nobody needs to know. Right? Yeah, nobody needs to know. So try your best to make sure that your breadth of work match what you're expecting people to pay you. And then also know that there is something we call humble beginnings, where you're just starting up. You take some jobs for the sake of building your portfolio, which are collaborations, even if it means that the money that they are paying you will not be as high as what you're expecting. And then you take it from there. It is the best way to go for me.
Wow. Still on pricing, I want to talk pricing, then also collaboration as well. What should be, I understand, I don't want to put a figure to it, but in terms of pricing, there are some things that is not they are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You get, for example, you should know what your production cost is.
Yes.
You get,
Yes.
you should know what, like, it should be like an overhead to an extent in terms of, okay, for us to produce this work, it's going to cost us XYZ.
Yes.
Then properly valuing the people that are actually, because most usually when it comes to commercial, working alone, I'm not really sure it's feasible, like you working alone. So it means that you have an assistant,
yes,
a light person and all of that. Just like, you know, when it comes to cinematography, you have your gaffer, you have your director, assistant director, and all of that. So how should, we're talking photography, how should a photographer, what are the basics that you should actually not compromise on? Then now adding, you know, what your take home is or your pay is.
Okay, I think you've mentioned almost everything. The project will determine the vendors that you need or the elements that you consider necessary to carry it out. If you are shooting something in the studio, you most likely will need people that will handle lights for you. If you are doing something at a location, you most likely need people that will handle lights for you and people that will help you with set design and art direction. If you are shooting something at a location that you have no idea of or that you are not conversant of, you will need a location manager. That means that now you have 3 vendors. If you are doing all of that and then you are doing something really fashionable and then the client is saying that they do not have their wardrobe stylist, that means you need to bring that person on board as well. So the nature of the brief or the project would determine the necessary elements for you. Now, the best thing for you is to not decide on behalf of those people. So you need to consult with them. Location manager, if you're going to do this for me, how much is it? Wardrobe stylist, if you're going to do this for me, how much is it?
Models.
And then so you go through all of that, all those people, and then you come back home and look at what the total is, and then you add. So as a photographer, these are the things that you should not compromise on. The first thing is the photography, which is the actual work. The second thing is post-production, which is, I don't do the work finish. The work is done. Everybody has gone home, but me, my work is just starting. That is editing, retouching, color grading, and so on and so forth. The part that some people tend to overlook in post-production is the delivering and the storage, because it will get to a point where the Google Drive they are using right now will not be enough anymore, and you have to start paying for that. So you need to start charging people for storage, which is, for a year I'll keep your photos on my Google Drive, and then this is how much you will pay after a year. Or for 6 months I'll keep your photos on that, and this is how much you will pay after 6 months, and so on and so forth. Also, for the photos that you are yet to take from me that are unretouched, I'll keep them in my hard drive for 2 years or for a year. After that, I'll clear them. If you need me to keep them for this so amount of time, this is how much it will cost you. So storage is a very, very solid topic that people need to start looking at. The other thing is licensing.
I was gonna
good. Licensing is a whole different experience if you step out of this place. I'm saying Nigeria or Lagos. And then the best way to step out of this place is not necessarily for you to travel. You can make friends out there. We have people that we used to talk to back then, even growing up, just chatting randomly with people in the abroad. So you can do the same thing now. There are people that are open to being your friend, being your colleagues, and so on and so forth, that are not in Nigeria. So ask them what it is or what it takes for them to license photos that are either digital uses, or that are either for digital use or for out of home, and then for 360, which is digital, out of home, and some sort of activations as well. So it is something that would rather sit back and talk about some other day, because it's a whole different ball game, right? But you need to be conversant with licensing. because if you're not consistent with it, you'll most likely be short charging yourself, right? And because some brands in the country are not used to the term licensing, it might be a big problem for you if you're asking them to pay for what they do not know of. So what I usually do is, instead of me just itemizing it as a different thing on my invoice, I just add it to the photography fee.
Charge.
Yes. So I just do photography. Under photography, I itemize that, and then put a sum in front of it. So that way it is better for an easy transaction.
Not have arguments and all
that. For an easy transaction. So
tax.
Yes, so tax is another tricky one, your VAT. I think that there was a brand that I worked with recently and my VAT was there, and then they came back to me to say that they don't pay VAT.
Is it a food brand?
It's not a food brand, it's a digital brand.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, they don't pay VAT. And it's not the brand that is saying this to me, it's the agency. Right. I was like, so what do we do to that? So I remember me having that conversation with my manager, and they were just laughing about it. So it is very good for you to have these conversations up front. Tell them this is why it's best for you to send your invoice before you start the production. Because we're trying to please our clients. Now I see people talking about pricing after the production and saying that, but you said that this is, and then there's going to be a whole fight because now the work has been done and you need your money. So send that invoice, let them see everything they're itemizing before you guys start the work, so that even if there's going to be a conversation, to be before the production. So these things are stuff that you need to always. So there's photography, there's post-production, there is storage, there's licensing, and then there is your VAT or whatever tax that you're charging for.
Fantastic. Wow.
And also, before you start charging VAT, register your business. So
true.
Yes, because if you think that you want to be collecting the government's money and keeping it, one way or the other, someone is going to flag you. Someone is going to flag you. So register your business and try your best to pay your tax.
Fantastic. I mean, we've spoken about a whole lot of things. But before we wrap this up, I just want to ask, you've had high moments and low moments and all of that. What are the biggest mistakes you've made in this course of your commercial photography? And which of the projects have you really faced like the greatest challenge, doing commercial photography, and how did it come out at the end of the day?
The most challenging project for me would be the one I did for Spotify. My first, because now I've done 2 projects for them, so this is the first one that I did for Spotify. And it was challenging because I had to create a TV commercial for them, and then I had to take photos for them as well for the entire campaign. So it was we have done all these things in other countries and they were successful. Nigeria. Now you have to blow our minds. So I think that was the most challenging one, because I remember I was part of I was part of every single decision making process.
Wow.
The location that we wanted to use, the models, the styling, so on and so forth. So it was really challenging because I just be only one person now, right? I think that after that, the lesson I took from there is that as a creative that is looking to scale, it is best for you to start learning, and it's a process of learning, delegation. So because we are creatives, we are hands-on. Creatives are hands-on. Like everything that they want to do, they want to do, and chook out. Say, do this one like this, this one like nah. So there's the concept of delegation that you need to learn. And that learning means that you need to unlearn having to choke mouth in everything. And also that learning means that you need to learn how to trust people as well. And that trusting means that you need to work with people that understand you. And this trust is something that you build over time. So work with people that understand you, people that understand what you stand for, people that know that did you not like this thing without even having to ask you, people that have sense of ownership. They know that if this job fails, they fail. It's not Deji fails. So you need to work with those people. So forming the right alliance is going to help you with delegation. So I think that's the lesson that I picked from them. So Spotify commercial that we shot for them last year. It was last year. That's the most challenging one I've done so far. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We're actually wrapping up now.
Yeah.
I just want to appreciate you for this moment. Like I wish we can actually extend this to like 2 hours. But before I let you go, I just want to on set. I had an experience recently.
Okay.
Working with 2 Nollywood artists and also the agency and all of that.
Working with Nollywood artists.
They were the muse for the project and all.
Yeah.
So like I know we can talk about this all day.
Yeah.
But what do you have to say about collaboration between, say, the cinematography team and photography team, the muse and the agency? Like that, confluence, like coming together to be able to do
synergy.
Build great synergy to be able to get good production. Like, what do you have to say about that?
I think it's usually, mostly in my experience, a personality thing. And this is what I'm saying. If you are naturally a clean person, you most likely almost not have friends that are not clean. Even if you have someone that is almost not clean, you make sure that person is clean to be that person's friend. It's the same thing with working or collaborating with people on the set. If you are a loud person on the set and the person that you're working with isn't loud, there has to be some sort of balance so that you being loud doesn't affect that person. If you are a late comer naturally, and you know that this person that you're working with, they say this person is always on set an hour before call time, try your best to be there as early as you can. So it is knowing the people that you're working with and then leveraging their personalities to what you will be or the person or the kind of person that you will be on that set. Because I always tell my friends, my colleagues, that photographers are shapeshifters. Yes, you can be cut on set and get home and just be quiet. You can be quiet on set because the person you're working with is throwing some sort of attitude, and then get home and then be loud and just be playing with your guys. So every single set and the people that you're working with will determine how you behave, so that synergy can be there and you guys can collaborate to have a successful production. I've been on sets where I had to pamper my models just because that's what this person needed. And I've been on sets where it is the model that is coming to meet me. Did you need anything? Did you need anything? And so on and so forth. So it's knowing the people that you're working with. And as much as possible, if you can, try to know them before you meet them. Ask people that have probably worked with them. If it is an agency that is bringing them to you, ask them, this person that you're bringing, what's this person like? And so on and so forth. I learned something about Emmanuel Leke. There was one time that I was talking to one of the people that worked with him at the time. And then he said to me that every time they had a production in Emmanuel's studio and the client comes in, Emmanuel goes to meet them and asks them if they want coffee or water, and then they give the person water if the person wants water, and then Emmanuel tells the person to sit, relax, they will come back. So the conversation of coffee or water has sort of made the person feel at home. And just because of that, even if you want to go crazy, is it not me that gave you coffee that time? Calm down. Does that make sense? So learning and knowing people and then being able to compromise, balance as the person that is trying to serve them, is the best way to go as a photographer.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, I mean, we're going to have a part 2 of this.
No problem.
Call me up. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things, This is still the TCQ podcast. I would like you to subscribe, to share this, and tell everybody that things are happening here. We're actually learning. This is actually a major masterclass. If you're going to pay for this, you know how much you're going to pay for this. So thank you so much for coming again,
You're welcome.
see you on the other side. Cheers.